Guys, listen up. We have to break down the stock market in this video, the indexes, and of course, some stocks that I'm looking at as we are selling off a bit across the board. Check it out. It's currently about 2:45 p.m. on the East Coast, and we have the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq down about 1/4 to 0.3%. The Russell's down 0.7%, and the Dow's down about 0.5%, as the VIX, is creeping up over 7%. So guys, we have a lot to cover today. Smash that like button. Make sure to subscribe. And if you guys want to get up to 15 stocks for Moomoo, you might as well do that now. Use that link down below or go to StockSurfS.com/Moomoo. Open up your account and fund it with at least $100, and boom, you get up to 15 stocks, and your uninvested cash for now will earn up to 8.1% APY, which guys, that's a no-brainer. So again, get your money. It also helps out the channel. I appreciate you guys as always. Cheers, by the way, and let's dive right into the video. So like I said, currently about 2:45 p.m. on the East Coast, about an hour 15 left of trading, and all of the indexes are taking a dump today, and well, it was coming. I knew this was coming considering how much the S&P went up throughout the month of September, which funny enough, September usually is not the best month for the stock market. Well, in this case, for this year, it was pretty dang good. S&P went up from around 538. That's where it was early on in September, all the way to 575. I mean, this thing went up around what? $35 per share, 7%. And now we're simply cooling off a bit, pulling down to the 180 moving average, which you guys can see if I draw this line right here. We've been holding that for quite some time. Of course, other than the dump off here that we saw in early August, right? We were riding that moving average for the entire year, for the most part, right? So I think we'll find support on SPY anywhere from 560 to 565, kind of where we are right now. So don't be surprised if we consolidate, maybe start forming some sort of a bottom at this point, at least in the very short term. And on Triple Q, this is down about 1/4%, nothing crazy. We're noticing the same thing, right? It went from around 445 early September all the way to about 495. We're talking an 11% move, big move there for Triple Q. Now it's kind of consolidating. It's pulled back a bit towards the 180 SMA. It's holding that as support on the 4-hour chart, which is very good news. And on the Dow Jones, this was definitely due for a pullback, definitely a need for a pullback. Dow Jones is at what, 41.9 right now. It's still well above the 180 SMA. The 180 SMA on the 4 hours at about 4,400, 40,400 points. And again, now we're at 41.9. So anywhere between, 40,500 to 41,000, in my opinion, will act as support on the Dow Jones here. So don't be surprised if we do get, a short-term bounce, some consolidation, kind of where we are right now. And on the Russell, we are noticing, it's looking a bit toppy here at about 2250 in the short term. We're now down to about 2180. We've cooled off a little bit on the Russell, but still well above the 180 SMA. We're above the 50 SMA as well. So, yeah, maybe support around 2130 to 2170 on the Russell. That's where we can find it, right? So, quick little rundown on the indexes there, guys. And the VIX, by the way, like I said, is moving and grooving again, up over 20 points, which just a couple days ago, earlier in the week, we were at 15 points on the VIX, right? Now we're exploding back over 20. It looks like we're trading at about a 2-3 week high. Yeah, more like a 3-week high on the VIX. We're really starting to push on this thing right now. So yeah, volatility is creeping up, which I'm not surprised. Tensions in the Middle East, right? Election now in what, a month? Roughly a month in the United States. There's a lot going on with the port strike. I mean, look, there's a lot of uncertainty. And with uncertainty, like we say on the channel all the time, the VIX goes up, stocks could sell off a bit in the short term. That's the reality of the matter. But, of course, if you have a long-term mindset, if you're in the stock market for the long term, you could push all that noise out of the way, focus on the long term, you'll be all right. And of course, if you're a trader, which I am a trader and a long-term investor, you could be both, guys. You can make some money in the short term while still having that long-term focus, right? That's kind of the bread and butter, my bread and butter, if you ask me, right? So let's take a look at some stocks here, guys, which Nike reported earnings. I forgot to talk about it here on the channel. They reported earnings a couple of days ago. I believe they beat EPS. What was it? 70 cents versus like 52 cents expected, something like that. And they missed on revenue from what I understand. Yeah, it's not here, but I'm pretty positive they beat on EPS, missed on revenue, and their sales are down like 12%. I think last year in the same quarter, they reported something like 12.9 billion revenue. They just reported it came in at 11.5 or 6 or something like that. So revenue's down a good chunk year over year, guys, for Nike. And the bright side here, the bright spot, is the fact that they got a new CEO. Hopefully he can turn the ship around. I mean, look, innovation's been lacking. Competition's everywhere, all across the board right now. People, I don't want to say they're not as brand loyal to Nike as they used to be. There's still a lot of people that are extremely brand loyal to Nike, but let's be honest, there's a lot of other great products nowadays that people are like, screw it, I'm going to buy this instead of Nike. The quality might be better, the price might be better. That's what people are doing. That's the reality of the matter right now, and Nike really screwed up by going all in pretty much on direct to consumer. That's a problem. They're going to start unwinding that a bit. Hopefully the new CEO can put something into place here. But look, stock not falled. Geez, guys, did I graduate the second grade? The stock fell from around $91, 92 bucks, right around earnings, to now 82 bucks, guys. We're down about 11% from where it was right around earnings. I think that's after the numbers came out. I'm not sure how it got up to that point, but it did. Talk about volatility. And yeah, at this point, man, I'm not touching it with a 10-foot pole as an investment, me personally. But hey, maybe as a bounce back trade, now we're a bit oversold here, trying to fight to hold the uptrend. We're right by the 180 SMA. Hey, maybe we do bounce off this point and see some sort of recovery in Nike stock. That would be ideal, at least. Now, wouldn't it, right? In the very short term here. So Nike, I'm watching it, not so much for an investment, maybe as a trade. CrowdStrike is another one that's moving today. This is one that I'm actually in. I think there's a lot more upside on CrowdStrike. We are noticing a cup and a handle forming on the 20-day chart. Actually, no, you can't even see it there. On the 2-hour chart, you might be able to see it. If it wants to work, come on. There we go. Yup, cup, handle, slowly starting to play out here, which you guys can see if this does break out of 295 where my alert's at. We have a wide open gap towards $340, $345 per share, which I don't think it's going to get there like that. I mean, it could, who knows, but over time, I think it could get there, and I did call this stock out in my email that I send every Monday for free. I think this was a couple emails ago when it was around 250, something like that. By the way, check out the link down below. It's free. Check it out. I'm sending my top 3 stocks right to your email every single Monday morning, and I'm in this one. I bought stock at like 235. I think I bought more at like 248, something like that. And I'm up a good chunk, and I think there's a lot more upside to come on CrowdStrike, especially if we crack over 295, 300. Oh boy, I think it's going to go a lot higher from that point. And let's see what else is moving here today, guys. Obviously, Palantir, we covered that in my video earlier today. Make sure to go check it out. AMD is also heating up a bit. You guys can see we're breaking out slowly but surely out of this downwards channel that we've been in pretty much all freaking year at this point. We've been downtrending on AMD, and my alert's set at $170 per share, which is roughly the high from May heading into June, right? And now we're getting awfully close to that point again. We hit 168, 170. Looks like a couple of days ago, last week, we got rejected, pulled down, but now we're starting to fight back up again, which if we take out 170, guys, baby steps here, but if we do, we could fill the gap to 185, and then if 185 were to break, which was the high from the middle of July, that's where things could get very interesting on AMD, at least in my opinion. I don't know. What do you guys think? But yeah, that's pretty much it for the video. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button. Make sure to subscribe for more stock market content like this. And feel free to check out my Patreon if you guys want to support the channel even further. And of course, you get a bunch of perks, the Discord, my charts and ideas throughout the week, and most importantly, my private Patreon portfolio, which I'm building every week. I'm putting in money. You guys see my buys, my sales, right? What I'm doing, the performance of that portfolio, all of that's on Patreon in the comment section. It's pinned and in the description box as well. And with that being said, I'm losing my voice, guys. With that being said, cheers. I'll catch you all in the next video.